Hello and welcome to House of Commerce. Hope you all are doing well. So in today's video, we are going to discuss what is auditing, auditing definition, and introduction and meaning. So the primary purpose of the audit is to confirm the authenticity of books of accounts prepared by an accountant. In this video, we'll cover auditing introduction, definition, and functions. It is well known saying that where the function of accountant ends, audit begins to determine the true and fair picture of such accounts. Why does a company need to be audited? Why it is so? Because auditor is a third party, and if a third party which is licensed by the government gives the assurance that the accounts are presented the true and fair picture whatever the company has written in its books. So it is more reliable. Rather, the company will say in its accounts that they have this and that financial position. So now, auditing introduction. The audit is an intelligent and critical examination of the books of accounts of the business. Auditing is done by an independent person or body of persons qualified for this job with the help of statements, papers, information, and comments received from the authorities so that the examiner can perform the authenticity of financial accounts prepared for a fixed term and report that. So, this is done by a qualified person or the group of persons known as firm which is licensed by the government and to whom the government authorized to do so. No one can audit the accounts until and unless they have taken the certified qualification or the license from the government. Now, what does an auditor has to report? Number one, the balance sheet exhibit an accurate and fair view of the state of affairs of the concern. That the company is not showing more assets and less liabilities or more of the liabilities and less of the assets in its book. But whatever it is showing, these presents the true and fair financial position of the company. Then, the profit and loss account reveals the right and balanced view of the profit and loss for the period. Means the company is not showing more profit just to fascinate the customers and more loss just to save the taxes and other liabilities. Then, the accounts have been prepared in conformity with the law, that whatever standards are applicable on the law of land, the accounts have been prepared as per the laws. Normally, international standard of auditing are the laws according to which the accounts must be prepared. Thus, it will be seen that the duty of an auditor is much more than a mere comparison of a balance sheet and accounts with the books. But the auditor has to satisfy himself according to his information and the explanation given to him. That whatever is explained by the client company, the auditor has to match the same with the international standard of auditing. That are these comply with all the rules defined into the standard books or it is not. So the auditor has to link both of the informations between his and to the explanation given to him. What does it mean by audit? The term audit is derived from a Latin word audire, which means to hear authenticity of accounts is assured with the help of the independent review, which means that a third party has given the consent to the accounts that it presents a true and fair view, whatever is written in the books of the company. Audit is performed to ascertain the validity and reliability of information. Examination of the books and accounts with supporting vouchers and documents to detect and prevent error, fraud, is the primary function of auditing. The whatever the company has shown the expenses and the revenues in its books are the true, and the auditor has verified the vouchers along with the bills in support. And whatever the revenue has been earned, the auditor has checked the bank statement and the related documents according to it. An auditor has to check the effectiveness of internal control systems for determining the extent of checking out the audit. Now, what is this? That auditor has to see that how the accounts are being prepared and are the persons qualified and they have the mere knowledge of preparing the accounts, and are those up to the mark as well. Then, initially, its meaning and use were confined merely to cash audit, and the auditor has to ascertain whether the person are responsible for the maintenance of accounts had adequately accounted for all the cash receipts and the payment on behalf of this principal. But now the word audit has an extensive usage, and it now means a thorough scrutiny of the books of the accounts, and its ultimate aim is to verify the financial position disclosed by the balance sheet and the profit and loss account of the company. Before that, as we studied before, that the auditor had to do the cash audit only. They just used to check the payment and the receipts of the company and nothing else. Now the auditor has to do a complete thorough scrutiny so that it is established that the company has maintained the accounts as per law. In short, an audit implies an investigation and a report. The process of checking and vouching continues until the study is completed, and the auditor enables himself to report under the terms of his appointment. So whatever the terms of appointment were at the time of appointment of an auditor, the auditor has to satisfy himself that much that he is satisfied enough to report on the accounts of the company to whosoever he has to report, to the firm or to the authorities, and he has to issue the report according to it. So finally, the definition of audit. An audit is an examination of accounting records undertaken with a view of establishing whether they correctly and completely reflect the transactions to which they purport to relate. So we have studied this since start of this video, that the audit is an examination and complete examination of the records of the company, that whatever the company says in its accounts, the auditor has to issue the report whether it is true or fair or not. Okay, so that was all for today's video. I shall see you into the next video with more of the auditing information, and we shall discuss international standard of auditing as well. Till then, take care of yourself. Good luck.